As fans, we all love our teams and our favorite players. At times, our biases maybe can cloud our judgment to their declining or uneven performances, or maybe their miscues on and off the field. Despite our willingness to forgive certain players, there are others whose fans will turn on and never forgive. So, let's dive in and look at one player from each team whose fans are losing patience with them. Arizona Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett was signed to a 2-year deal before the 2025 season, and when they removed Kyler Murray, he took over for 12 games, finishing with a 1-11 record. In fact, Brissett brings a career record of 20-45 into the 2026 season, which makes his current holdout for a new deal completely ridiculous. A losing QB on a losing team who wants more money? He's done nothing to deserve a new deal. The fans are right to be angry with Brissett. Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is the highest drafted tight end in the history of the NFL, selected with the 4th overall pick at the 2021 draft. When a team drafts a player that high, they better be getting a franchise player. Looking at the resume of Pitts reveals a conundrum. He's a good tight end, but is he a franchise player? Not yet. He's shown bursts of that promise, but if he doesn't pull it all together soon, Falcons fans will not be kind to him. Baltimore Ravens, Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman has failed to live up to his draft status as a first-round draft pick. Injuries have severely hampered his first 2 seasons in the NFL, but by year 3, he was healthy, and he just failed to meet expectations. The 2024 season saw him reach career highs in receiving yards, but he once again missed time with injuries in 2025, finishing subpar numbers yet again. It seems like the Ravens made a mistake drafting Bateman, and if he has another subpar season, he's gonna be out of work. Buffalo Bills, Keon Coleman. It might seem a bit curious to put a player with only 2 years experience in the NFL on our list, but Buffalo is a perennial Super Bowl contender, and the one thing they could really use to push them over the top is a wide receiver. Keon Coleman has had opportunities to fill that spot, but has not yet succeeded. The Bills need to replace Stephon Diggs, and this offseason they brought in DJ Moore. They're gonna need, more. So, this is Coleman's make-or-break year. Carolina Panthers, Jalen Phillips. The Panthers are a team that is rising towards contender status. As such, they went out and imported a bunch of talent this offseason. Near the top of the imports was edge rusher Jalen Phillips, who signed a 4-year, $120 million deal. Entering his first year in Carolina, Phillips will be under immense pressure to perform, and frankly, he has a lot to prove. If his play suffers or he's injured again, Panthers fans are not gonna be patient. Chicago Bears, Grady Jarrett. When Chicago signed Grady Jarrett to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal, they thought they were getting a consistent presence on their defensive line. The 2025 season did not show that at all. Jarrett spent time injured, and when he did play, his performance was just subpar. His contract is restrictive, so they can't cut him without a huge cap hit. It's only been 1 year, but fans are already starting to turn on Jarrett. Cincinnati Bengals, Myles Murphy. The Bengals thought that Myles Murphy was going to be an edge rusher who could dominate an opposing offense. I wonder if they still think that. Murphy has been a virtual ghost on defense, only starting 10 games between 2023 and 2025. And he hasn't really been a disruptive presence that Cincinnati was hoping for when he was selected in the first round of the draft. Murphy needs to step up his game. Otherwise, he's going to be shipped out of Ohio. Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was traded to Cleveland at the start of the 2022 season and was immediately rewarded with a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract. Watson was then suspended for the first 11 games of the 2022 season, and since returning, injuries have limited him to only 19 games played in the last 4 years. An oft-injured QB who is overpaid is not a good match. If he can't get onto the field in 2026, well, fans might drag him into the dog pound. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. The Cowboys are one of the most popular teams in professional football and are expected to win every year. That expectation carries a lot of pressure. Despite being one of the best QBs in the game today, Dak Prescott doesn't get the love and recognition that he deserves. When healthy, he's capable of putting up MVP numbers, but Cowboys fans blame the quarterback. Heck, they did that with Tony Romo, and now they're doing it with Prescott. So, if the Cowboys don't start winning soon, and I mean in the playoffs, well, he'll likely be chased out of town. Maybe. if Jerry Jones allows it. Denver Broncos, Marvin Mims Jr. Coming out of college, there was a lot of excitement surrounding Marvin Mims Jr., as he possessed elite speed and versatility. However, outside of special teams, he has not lived up to his potential. As he now enters the final year of his rookie contract, there is a great amount of pressure on Mims. This offseason, the Broncos brought in Jalen Waddle, which only pushed him further down the depth chart. Denver might be a mile high, but Mims is about to be buried a mile deep. Detroit Lions, Terrion Arnold. Detroit drafted Terrion Arnold in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft, hoping that the Alabama product would be the lockdown cornerback that the team needed. Well, it didn't work out the way the Lions hoped it would.
Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold appearing in court, accused of orchestrating a robbery and kidnapping plot.
Green Bay Packers, Christian Watson. Green Bay is a Super Bowl contender, but if there's one thing that is potentially holding them back, it's their wide receivers. This group, quite simply, is underwhelming. And they head into 2026 with Christian Watson as their #1 receiver, which, quite frankly, he's not. Aside from injuries, which have been an issue every single year, fans have also complained about his dropped passes and inconsistency, none of which will help the Packers' chances. Houston Texans, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud looked like a future star after his first 2 seasons, and Houston looked like a team on the rise. Unfortunately, Stroud took a bit of a step back last year. He saw career lows in games played, completions, attempts, passing yards, and touchdowns. However, a subpar regular season can be forgiven with postseason glory. The Texans made it to the divisional round, but that was more in spite of Stroud than because of him. In 2026, he will be under a bright spotlight. Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson. This upcoming season probably represents a last chance scenario for Anthony Richardson to save his career. His first 3 seasons have been a mix of being injured or playing poorly when healthy. He's dealt with a fractured orbital bone, shoulder surgery, and hip, back, and foot issues. But he also has been a turnover machine and subpar quarterback during his tenure. Last year, he lost his job to Daniel Jones, and this is his last chance to regain it. Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter. Drafted as the 2nd overall pick in the 2025 draft, a lot was expected of Travis Hunter, especially on an up-and-coming team like Jacksonville. Unfortunately, his rookie year was, well, a disappointment, as it ended with a season-ending injury in Week 8. However, even before the injury, Hunter's season was nothing of note. He's expected to be healthy for 2026, and with the Jags expected to be a contender, fans are not going to be waiting long for Hunter to live up to expectations. Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce will end up in the Hall of Fame when he's done playing football. But based on the past couple of years, one has to wonder if he still has the same desire that he once did. His numbers have declined over the past 3 years, and while some of that is age-related decline, it's also fair to ask if his globe-trotting with Taylor Swift has impacted his preparedness for football. Look, if Kelce gets off to a slow start, those questions are only gonna get louder. Las Vegas Raiders, Taron Johnson. Taron Johnson hasn't even suited up for a game at the Raiders, and their fans are already losing patience with him. And for good reason. Johnson was acquired from Buffalo to solidify the Raiders' secondary. The trade turned into an absolute mess soon after because Johnson engaged in a holdout to secure a new contract, and then he decided to skip team workouts, practices, and activities. That kind of behavior will not ingrain a person to a new team or its fan base. Simple as that. Los Angeles Chargers, Quentin Johnston. Since entering the National Football League in the 2023 season, wide receiver Quentin Johnston has not lived up to expectations. The Chargers are hoping to contend for a title, and if they can keep Justin Herbert upright, they might just have a chance. But man, their receiving core has to step their game up. Which brings us to Johnston, who must improve his route running and being able to hold on to the ball. He needs to become the reliable target that he is capable of being. Los Angeles Rams, Alaric Jackson. Alaric Jackson is not a Pro Bowl player, nor is he a star. But what he is, and has been, is a consistent presence on the Rams' offensive line. He has seamlessly transitioned between guard and tackle over the last 5 years, helping to keep Matthew Stafford healthy. However, Jackson is now staring down a possible suspension after being arrested on felony domestic violence charges. If he is suspended, well, it would mark his 2nd time. There is no doubt that his actions have led to the Rams fan base to be exhausted and a little done with Jackson. Miami Dolphins, Malik Willis. The Dolphins have been looking for a franchise quarterback since Dan Marino left town, and for a very brief period, it looked like Tua Tagovailoa was the answer. Yeah, spoiler alert, he wasn't. So they parted ways with him after last season. In 2026, they will now turn to newly acquired Malik Willis, who's only made 6 starts over his first 4 years in the league. Look, Miami is clearly rebuilding, and with the possibility of having the #1 draft pick next year, Malik Willis will have a very short leash in South Beach. Minnesota Vikings tie J.J. McCarthy/Kyler Murray. The Vikings quarterback situation is a bit of a question mark. They entered the 2026 season with a competition between J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray, 2 quarterbacks with potential, but due to inconsistency in their play and injuries, have been unable to put everything together on the field. The Vikings hope to compete and need a steady quarterback. If the pair can't stay healthy or, play up to their abilities, fans are not going to be kind to them. New England Patriots, A.J. Brown. The Patriots surprised a lot of people by reaching the Super Bowl last year. Not content with how last season ended, New England went out and acquired a #1 wide receiver in A.J. Brown. The only question is whether Brown is still a true #1 receiver. His numbers are still steady, but it seems as if he was replaced in the Philly pecking order by Devontae Smith. Brown was brought in to be a difference maker in New England, so if that doesn't happen, Patriots fans might just rebel. New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara. For 9 years, Alvin Kamara has been a dual threat out of the Saints' backfield, regularly posting a combined 1,400 rushing and receiving yards. Despite his outstanding resume, Kamara is starting to break down. Entering the 2026 season at 31 years of age, Kamara is starting to show the wear and tear of playing in the NFL. The Saints are hoping to rebound this year, and if Kamara can't revert to his former self, well, the fans will let him know. New York Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau. The time to decide if Kayvon Thibodeau is a bust or not is soon approaching, especially as he enters the final year of his contract. Based on his first 4 years, it looks like he's closer to bust status than anything else. Aside from his 11.5 sacks in 2023, he has not been the dominating presence that the Giants hoped for on the pass rush. His declining play and lingering injuries have led fans to sour on him, and New York fans are not a forgiving bunch. New York Jets, Justin Fields. In all reality, based on how the Jets have played recently, we probably could have gone with almost any player on their roster. Since the quarterback gets the most attention, and Justin Fields hasn't been that good since entering the NFL, let's pick him. Quite simply, he has underperformed at every stop in the NFL. New York fans are notorious for being brutal to players who struggle. If Fields performs as usual, and why wouldn't he, the New York fan base will eat him alive. Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. I know this list is supposed to be about players, but, well, there is definitely a vocal percentage of Eagles fans that have lost their patience with the head coach. So, here we are. In 5 years patrolling the Philadelphia sideline, Nick Sirianni has produced a winning record every season, and 2 trips to the Super Bowl, which included a victory in Super Bowl 59. Yet fans are annoyed with the coach's play calling and the team's regression after their Super Bowl victory. There is a way for Sirianni to calm those fans down though, and that is to win. Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers turns 43 during the 2026 season, and age has a way of catching up with every player. While Rodgers was still productive in 2025, he will be another year older, and Pittsburgh might be in need of a new rebuild. The Steelers hired a new coach for this year, so perhaps it's time for a new QB too. Considering that Rodgers waited until after free agency to re-sign, he had better have a good season, or the fans might just revolt over him, preventing the Steelers from moving on. San Francisco 49ers, Brandon Ayuk. After being the 49ers' leading receiver in back-to-back seasons, 2022 and 2023, Brandon Ayuk signed a massive 4-year, $120 million contract with $76 million in guaranteed money. During Week 7 in 2024, Ayuk suffered a season-ending knee injury. And then, things got ugly. After he refused to follow the team's recovery protocols and stopped communicating with the team, the Niners voided the rest of his guaranteed money. This is gonna lead to an ugly divorce. But it's always the fans that get hurt. Seattle Seahawks, Anthony Bradford. It was really tough to find a member of the current Super Bowl champions who fans are losing patience with, especially with the team a favorite to repeat. However, Anthony Bradford fits the bill. Fans have complained about Bradford's missed blocks, blown assignments, and some costly penalties. It's exactly those types of miscues that can derail a team's championship aspirations. Fortunately, he's in the last year of his contract, so if Bradford doesn't improve, the Seahawks can just move on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bucky Irving. The Buccaneers might be the best team in the worst division, so they need to take advantage of that. Go all in and surround Baker Mayfield with the talent that he needs to win. Does that include Bucky Irving? I mean, he had an impressive rookie season, but an unimpressive sophomore one, injuries included. This saw him split backfield duties with Rachaad White. The Bucs window is slowly closing, so they really need Irving to return to his rookie form, or else the leash is not gonna be very long. Tennessee Titans, Calvin Ridley. The Titans are rebuilding, and any team in that position should have a short leash with veterans raking in a high salary. That puts a target on the back of wide receiver Calvin Ridley, who suffered a season-ending injury in Week 7 last year. At the age of 31, he'll be attempting to return from a broken fibula, and with 2 years left to go on his $92 million deal, if he's still compromised or underperforms in 2026, the fans will let him know it. Washington Commanders, Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin has been a really good receiver for the Commanders, surpassing 1,000 receiving yards almost every year that he's been in the league. The real outlier was the 2025 season, which saw him only play in 10 games due to lingering injuries. His inability to stay on the field last year and lingering resentment over his past contract holdout have led fans to lose patience with the wide receiver. It's going to be interesting to see which version of McLaurin actually shows up in 2026. But hey, what player on your favorite franchise are you losing patience with? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.